Hey guys, it's Chey. Welcome to the channel if you are new, and if you're not, hey boo. So for today's video, I am finally giving you guys a full face of Sephora Collection, and this is how the face looks so far. I definitely have some thoughts on some of these products, and we'll definitely get into that towards the end of the video. I do have some comparisons throughout the video of some older products from Sephora and the newer version, so you can kind of see the differences between the two. Did Sephora mess up or did they elevate? You be the judge. If you guys want to see how everything applied on the skin and hear my thoughts toward the end, then hopefully you like it here and you like my vibe. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And without any further ado, we're gonna get into this full face of Sephora Collection products. Hey guys, welcome to the tutorial portion. We're gonna get into the skin prep, and we're using the Sephora Collection organic cotton rounds. Now, as you can see, they do have ridges on it, which is gonna be great for exfoliating the skin. So I'm just taking my Drench It priming milk and I'm using that all over the face. And then once that's nice and applied, we're gonna get into the Sephora Collection Lift and Firm eye cream and also the moisturizer. So the eye cream is very thin, it's lightweight, it does feel very hydrating and refreshing without feeling greasy, and the eyes are looking awake. Okay, so now we're getting into the moisturizer, and it is very similar to the eye cream, just a little bit lighter. So if you have oily skin, this is going to be perfect for you because it doesn't leave the skin feeling like greasy or anything like that. So they do have a primer, but I'm not a fan, so I'm just taking my Danessa Myricks Universal Blurring Balm powder and using that all over the face. And then we're getting into the brows, and this is a retractable brow pencil, and normally I bounce between midnight brown and chocolate brown, and I couldn't remember which brow pencil I actually like, so I ended up using midnight brown here. And as you can see, it does give me more of a softer brow, but I just wish it was a little bit darker. So from now on, I will definitely be repurchasing chocolate brown instead of midnight brown. And then I'm just filling in the brows a little bit more with the Pink Honey brow pen. Then we're gonna go ahead and clean up the brows using the Best Skin Ever concealer, and this is a shade that is closer to my skin tone, and I didn't have any issues with this. Now you do kind of gotta work a little fast because it does dry down, especially with that blurring balm powder. So we're just gonna make sure that once we have everything outlined, that we're just gonna go back and diffuse it. And as you can see, just me blending out the top, you do gotta kind of work a little quickly, but the brows are looking snatched, so I'm going to do my eyes off camera, and we're going to go ahead and use the Sephora Collection lash glue. And I personally love this lash glue. The duo glue was not working for me, so the Sephora Collection one works perfectly. Now we're on to their new bronzer stick, and this comes in 5 different shades, and I'm using number 4 in About Time. And this very much reminded me of my Maybelline Stick Cream Bronzer. Very similar. I will say that this one is not as warm as the Maybelline, but it blended really nicely. Now with this bronzer stick, it's not as emollient as like the Too Faced or LYS bronzer stick, so you do kind of got to work it into the skin a little bit more. It doesn't just melt into the skin, but you do have more control when it comes to blending. And as you can see, the color on here is very much a natural bronze shade, so if you like a natural makeup look, this is gonna be perfect. So now we're getting into the base products, starting with the foundation. We have the old formula here and then the new one here. So of course we're going to start with the old one. This was the shade 44Y, and then this is the new shade, which is 30Y. Okay, so I'm taking 30Y and dotting it on the face, and it immediately looks orange to me. Okay, so I'm trying to give her a chance, and I'm just blending her out. I didn't add any blue pigment, and as I'm blending it, I'm like, okay, it's not so bad, but it's definitely not as smoothing on the skin as the old formula, and I will say it's not as hydrating, but we're just gonna keep working it into the skin, and it's looking pretty good from where I'm standing. And then I'm just going back into that bronzer just because I love a good bronze moment. And yeah, you really have to work in that bronzer, because even here I thought it would glide on a little bit better with the foundation, but no, it's literally just the formula. It's more matte, so I'm just really working it in. And then we're gonna go ahead and use some concealer. So this is the Best Skin Ever concealer in the new formula. I'm taking the lighter shade, which is 14Y, in the center of the face, and then I'm going in with 19N, and y'all, look at how orange this shade looks. So we're just applying it where I normally apply concealer, and then we're going to start blending things out. Immediately you can see on my chin that everything is starting to dry down, so I'm working very quickly to make sure like everything looks nice and flawless, but I am really having to work it into the skin. So here I am blending the under eyes, and the coverage is really nice. I can't complain about that. It looked really good. So I am just blending for my life at this point. And Sephora Collection has some cream blushes, but I didn't see anything that piqued my interest, so I didn't waste my money trying to get anything. So I went with my Pink Honey blushes and used that on the cheeks, and I'm doing like a little blush combination that's very similar to my eye look, and I think the blush combo came out really pretty. So I'm just going back with the sponge and blending underneath the eyes and blending down the nose. And using the sponge really did help diffuse that. And now we're going to go ahead and set using the new Blur It setting powder. And this is in Brightening Banana. And I'm taking my Sephora Collection powder puff, and I love this powder puff. Now, I don't like the Micro Smooth powder. It's just not my favorite. So I was really intrigued on how this Blur It powder was going to be, because one thing about me, I have really big pores. So when something says blur and smooth, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So even though this said it was Brightening Banana, I didn't really find it brightening. But now we're on to bronzer. So we have the old shade, which is Ibiza, which is this beautiful warm brown right here. It's so beautiful. And then this is the new shade in Coconut Retreat. And as you can see, it does look a little bit more neutral. It's not as warm, and it looks a little bit lighter, or like a little gray. But on the skin, as you can see, it does still give that warmth. So don't judge a book by its cover. And it is a matte formula for the bronzer. It's not as creamy. I will say the old formula was a lot more creamy, a lot more pigmented, and this is more like a buildable bronzer where you do kind of gotta dig into the product a little bit more. But that just helps with control too, where it doesn't get as muddy. So I'm taking that same bronzer on the nose, and then I'm taking the Sephora Collection blush. This is in the shade Shame on You, and I really was just using this for like a transition blush, and it looked really pretty. It gave me a little bit of color, but not too much, which is what I was going for, because I wanted to add a little bit, you know, more color later on. So now we're baking with that Blur It setting powder and cutting underneath the cheek and everything like that. And like I said, it wasn't really brightening, so it's fine. We're gonna take these Sephora Collection eyeliners, and I took the brown shade called Tiramisu. And one thing about these Sephora Collection eyeliners is that they literally glide into the waterline. So if you have really sensitive eyes, this is going to be perfect for you. And then I'm just smudging it, so you do get some playtime with the eyeliner. And then I'm just going back into my bronzer and diffusing the edges a little bit more, just to give me more of that smoky lower lash line. And then we're going to go ahead and set the face using the Sephora Collection powder. I forgot what it's called, but it is their foundation powder in 44N, and it is my perfect shade. I love it. And then we're taking this lighter shade to go ahead and give me that inner corner pop. And I was going pretty light with the brightening powder, but I definitely could have added a little bit more brightness to it. So now we're on to highlighter, and I have these two shades. We have Glitzy Gold, which is this more champagne color, but it's described as a golden highlighter. And then we have Sparkling Honey, which definitely is more of a pearlescent pink shade. We're gonna go ahead and dip into Sparkling Honey just because I feel like the pink goes a little bit better with this eye look than the gold, and it is gorgeous. A little bit goes a long way, and I wanted something pretty soft on the cheek, so I'm not going super heavy with the highlighter. And then I'm just taking my blush brush and diffusing the edges. And now we're gonna go ahead and use the Sephora Collection setting spray. And y'all, the pump was not working, okay? I am literally pressing down and nothing's coming out. It's literally defective, so I can't use the setting spray, unfortunately. But we're gonna go ahead and get into the lips. So this is the old molasses. It is retractable, and this is the new version, so they changed it to a pencil, and it is matte. Look at the shade difference. It's very different. And we're just going to use that Blur It powder to set the lips, and then we're taking the new molasses lip liner. And y'all, I actually really liked it. I loved how matte it was, and I thought that this lip liner was so perfect. And then we're gonna get into their satin stain lip creams. So the first shade was the old one, and then the new one is at the bottom. So it is a little bit different, but it gives the same effect on the lips. I will say the new shade runs a little bit more on the purple side, but it's not too crazy. It's still a beautiful pinky nude, and I'm just going back and adding more lip liner. And as you can see, the lips look great. There was no stickiness or anything. So I also went in with the brow fluff and wax, and I have been obsessed with this brow gel from Sephora Collection, so I really enjoy it. So if you guys are in the market for a brow gel, definitely don't sleep on this brow gel. And then we're gonna add a little bit of mascara. Now when it comes to me, I love a good thick chunky wand like this, and we're gonna add that. Even though I'm wearing falsies, I did apply it to my top and bottom lash line. I personally just like a thick wand because I need all the volume, and it did really good separating my lashes as well. So now we're going to go ahead and get into this eyeshadow from my Simply Posh eyeshadow palette, and I'm just applying that on the cheek just for a little added color because I just wanted a little bit more depth, and I was feeling really cutesy, and this is how the face is looking. I'm obsessed. So let's get into my thoughts. So now that the face is completed, let's get into my thoughts on these products from Sephora Collection. Okay, starting out with the dud, the lid. The lid literally broke when I was trying to press down on it, so it's unfortunate that I can't use this, and I can't return it because I've had it in my collection for a while now and I haven't even used it. So I wish I could be able to use this for you guys, but unfortunately it is defective. When it comes to the products that I tried out today, comparing it to the old formula versus the new, I did notice that the newer formulas seem lighter, okay? It seems lighter when you look at it, but applied, it does give the same type of feel. So I'm not too mad at it. I will say probably the standout for me was going to be the bronzer. I already love the Sephora Collection lash glue and their powder foundations, so I already know that I love those. So the newer products to me were the powder, which, I mean, my skin looks baby smooth. I did use the shade Brightening Banana to set my under eye, and I feel like everything looks really nice and smooth. I'm not gonna lie, the face is giving flawless. The highlighters look really pretty. So I did try out a new shade today. I tried out Sparkling Honey, which is more of a rose gold color, and I feel like that really complemented the look today. So I didn't really go crazy with the highlight on the cheek and nose, just something soft. The Sephora Collection eyeliners literally are amazing. I'm so glad that I got my hands on 3 of them. They literally just glide and melt into the eye, but they also give you enough playtime to where you can smudge it, but these are pretty long lasting. And when it comes to the lip liner in Molasses, like, it is a little bit different than the original Molasses, but it is a lot more long wearing. The original Molasses lip liner was retractable and it had like a glowy formula for the lip liner, but this new one is matte and it looks great in my opinion. I will say it definitely reminds me of the Makeup by Mario Jeff lip liner. It's just a little bit cooler, not as warm, but I feel like you get the same type of vibe with it. Sephora Collection does have a primer, but I'm not a fan of it because I have oily skin. It is more of that silicone feel. It kind of reminds me of the Benefit Professional, so I didn't want to waste my money and buy it, even though I know I don't like it. When it comes to the new foundation and concealers, y'all, these are definitely not my favorite, okay? I definitely prefer the old formula. This one isn't as full coverage as the original one, and it looked just a little bit more orange on me. So in the old formula, I did wear 44Y, and in this one, I picked out the shade 30Y. And then when it comes to these Sephora Collection concealers, the old formula was a lot more hydrating. This is a little bit more matte, which can be hit or miss. It's not a bad concealer. I would say that this is going to be more comparable to like the Huda Beauty concealer. It's not as full coverage as the Charlotte Tilbury, but I would say it's a close second to that. I just prefer my concealers to have a little bit more hydration or fuller coverage, but it's not bad, okay? My under eyes look flawless. I feel like I definitely need a lighter shade because my under eyes to me just don't pop like it normally does. It's giving very much like monochromatic to me. These Sephora Collection blushes are literally amazing. Now this one is more of a natural shade. This is in Shame on You. Now if you like this color but you want just a little bit more oomph, definitely grab Flirt It Up. I literally use that color for everything. So their blushes, their bronzers, I don't have any complaints about. I will say with the bronzer formula, it is more on the matte side, which I'm not complaining as an oily skin girl. I really have been loving these Sephora Collection facial pads. They really help exfoliate my skin and help keep my texture nice and smooth. I really love a thick mascara wand, and this Size Up mascara is literally so good. Even though I'm wearing lashes, I would wear this on its own. This definitely gives you some volume and it does separate your lashes as well. So for me personally, I would be repurchasing this once this is gone. This isn't a waterproof formula, but I just love how it makes the lashes pop because I have really baby lashes, so I will definitely be repurchasing her. Now, when it comes to the lip stains, they are literally the same amount and they're very close in color, but I will say that the new version is a lot more sheer. It's not as pigmented as the old version, so I'm not in love with that, but I'm not mad at this lip color at all. I love this lip combo and it's very comfortable on the lips, which is probably why they sheared out the formula. There's no sticky lips or anything like that. So, and those are my thoughts on these products that I got from Sephora Collection. Let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know if the face is beats or not. Okay, I feel like she's cute, but I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments on how you think that these products applied and if there's anything that you're eyeing. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.